Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me. Book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Hey, San Diego, it's the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. 4 days of the biggest savings on an incredible selection. From F-150, Bronco Sport, or the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. It's your time to save during Sell-a-thon. But it all ends February 17th. So visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
When you want to catch big bluefin tuna, you need Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The Shimano Beastmaster is the pinnacle of electric reels. Shimano's Gigamax motor packs a winding strength up to 250 pounds, ideal for kite fishing and more. Shimano's butterfly flatfall jigs are irresistible to bluefin tuna because they stay in the strike zone longer. Shimano makes a complete line of butterfly flatfall jigs to target your favorite game fish. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, man. Brandon, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. You're one of the few guys at the tackle shop there that is not sick.
Yeah,
right?
one of the only. I'm happy to cover for the boys anytime they go down. And boy, they've had a rough winter. It's one ailment to another, and it's certainly going.
We don't like hearing that.
No, not at all.
That's no good. Yeah, for sure. But great to have Bob Kantor in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, boys. Good morning, Pete. Good morning, Brandon. Thanks for having me today.
Great to have you. And Katmai Lodge, Brandon was able to experience.
He had a great time. We were
summer.
lucky to have him here this year to see what it was all about. So he knows what to talk about.
When Pete threw out the offer for me to come in on your day, I jumped at the opportunity because one of the great highlights of my life was visiting your lodge last year. I was blown away by the experience. I was blown away by you as a human being, but the overall experience was unique and one of the best things I've ever done.
Well, it's great to know that you had that experience, because we try to tell the anglers, everybody likes San Diego going in the ocean, but there is fishing other places in the world, and this Alaska is really a great place to go to. And not only just for the fishing, but for the experience to see in the true outdoors.
The cool thing is you're a San Diego long-range local fisherman.
Yeah,
you're
that's
a
where I
Southern
started.
California restaurant.
Coming down here just on the boats in the bay here that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. Fishing the tuna and such.
Love the albacore. Wish the albacore came back.
It could happen. It could happen. You never know.
Right.
Yeah. But then how did you get into going to Alaska and then eventually owning a lodge? It's
a long story, but what it is I also do construction, and that's one good thing about owning a lodge is you have to know how to fix the lodge. And taking those experience that I had throughout the years of flying, and then I had my construction job as a kind of a side gig, learning to go up there, and then just having that experience. So once you, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's fishing in San Diego. Once you do it, you're just going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I was blown away by your lodge and you in general. From a Southern California boy born and raised in San Diego's perspective, Alaska, certainly where you are, is the most exotic place. It's so different than what we experience here. And I watch on TV all the time Alaska shows, for example, and I see these guys on these Alaska shows that can just do everything. They can fix a thing, they can build a thing, they can fly a plane, they can do all that. I thought that was only for TV. And then I went to Katmai Lodge. I met Bob and realized, like, oh no, there are people out there that do that.
That's the real deal.
There's no Home Depots or Lowe's right next to the
Yeah.
lodge. You got to come up with duct tape and zip ties are probably one of our biggest tools there.
How did you learn to do all the things that you can do?
I don't know. I think it just comes naturally sometimes. It's something that I can do. I'm pretty good at it. Fixing something. If something's break, you just got to think of how to do it. It's kind of hard to say, but it just comes along, and you got to just keep persistent and keep working on it. And then you got to know one of the good things is I've learned is sometimes it's just you need to throw it out and get a new one, because you can spend so much time working on one item and it's not worth it. It's better just to trash it and get a new one coming in. But logistics, being with construction, you got to remember the nails. You got to not just the 2x4s and the 2x12s, but you got to make sure, oh, do I have nails? Oh, do I have screws? Oh, do I have a hammer? The things to make the job work.
Because there's no convenience store around the corner.
Nothing. Not you guys have been there. We're 300 miles from the closest Home Depot.
Is that how far it is to Anchorage?
Yes, yeah,
300 miles.
300
Wow.
miles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the closest town, of course, is King Salmon.
King Salmon, and there's
If
a
you
little,
call that
there's
a
a little,
town.
yeah, there's a little Ace Hardware store in there, but
you don't walk there.
no.
You
Everything's got to be
fly
flown
there.
in. It's
Yeah.
35 miles to get to King Salmon, and then you got to get in the car and drive for 20 minutes
Oh, wow.
just to get a fitting for
Yeah.
the toilet.
Yeah. So the other thing that always amazed me, and I don't know, Brandon, if he ever described to you how they get fuel, because they need jet fuel for the plane.
Mhm.
They need diesel fuel for the generator, because everything's on a generator.
Correct.
And they need gasoline for the boats.
Right.
How do you get all that there?
Well, unfortunately, last year was a little issue. But the plane that brought our fuel in it unfortunately crashed. Not at our
That's a
lodge,
problem.
but then you basically, we have a new supplier this year that will be coming out, and we had to go to Plan B and C, which was basically hauling it up the river around the point. And then transferring the fuel, into our boats, because their boat can't get all the way up the river, and then filling it from there. So it really was
Just
an
into
issue.
Drums or stuff?
Yeah, into drums and those totes.
Wow.
And then just bringing it in, and then also too, we were able to out of New Zealand. Actually, it was New Zealand, I think they were, or Australia. There's a company that makes bladder tanks for the otter, and we were able to. It's kind of like a big water bed, and you put that in the airplane, and you hook the nozzle up to it, and just start pumping it, and you see this water bed grow into the airplane, and then you basically fly the bomb to the lodge.
That's got to be a little interesting, huh?
Well, it's just you don't crash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all. Yeah.
Now, how long have you been flying, Bob?
Oh, for quite a few years.
Yeah. You were a commercial pilot,
Yeah,
right?
commercial pilot, and been flying since I was 18.
18 years old.
Right.
And what's it like flying a big jet for? You work for American Airlines, right?
Yeah, it's
the versus the Otter.
The difference is the Otter is, you never really get up above 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, which you can see everything. When you're flying for the airlines, all you look down is crop circles and squares, and you really don't know what state you're in.
Yeah.
Everything's modernized. Everything is, autopilot pretty much flies the plane 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So when you fly in Alaska with the smaller planes, the Otter's not a small plane, it still fits 11 people, and it lands on the water. So there's all those techniques that you need to be able to make it work.
Yeah. And is it easier flying the Otter, or is it more challenging because you don't have all the electronics?
Yeah, it's more challenging because you're not, everything's handed to you in the airlines. You don't have to think. They have already pre-thought your trip. Here you got to go, okay, how much gas am I going to need? Okay, am I going to be too heavy? What's the weather? The weather's kind of hard to get there. We don't have the weather radars that they do in the airlines. So it's a different task. I enjoy it better than flying the airlines.
Well, did you get to fly in the Otter?
I never got a chance to go in the Otter, but I was blown away by how often you use the Otter. It's like it is your, get around town
It is
vehicle.
the F-550 that flies.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. And then the other thing that's cool is Katmai has their own runway.
Right.
And what was it like, that e-ticket coming in and going out on that plane when you're landing on that gravel runway?
I didn't know what to expect. I don't know that I've ever been on a small prop plane like that, but while in the plane, I was just, mouth agape, eyes wide open, looking at all the Alaskan tundra, super excited for where we were going. And then when we slid into this little dirt runway, I puckered up a little bit. I tensed up, but it went so smooth. And when we got there, I just didn't have any, I couldn't get my bearings on how impossible the logistics of this place must be, because it's such a large lodge. Everything's first class. The food's incredible. And they just do everything right. But there are no roads. There's no way to get anything there. And then to see Bob do what Bob does, which is everything, I was just blown away by the whole experience.
Yeah, pretty much everything gets loaded in the plane. It comes up in containers from Seattle, and then goes in the town of King Salmon, and we basically, beginning of the season, I'll probably make 8 trips a day. And
Wow.
So figure that out in a 550. That's quite a bit of material you can bring in a day's worth of work.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's all stacked, and we stack the container. I mean, there's no space empty in the thing when we close the door.
Yeah.
Everything, you just got to think of, okay, I got enough room. Let's buy another pail of drywall screws, because you're going to need it.
Now let's talk about the fishing. The fishing, I've been to Katmai numerous times, and it dates back to the Marty Milner days. Marty Milner's the one that Bob Marriott from Bob Marriott's Fly Fishing Store, and Marty Milner introduced, said, you got to go to this place, Katmai Lodge. And this was, I'm talking 25 years ago, right? And it was under several different ownerships, but it's got a long history.
Yes, it does. It's the fishing is, last year we were kind of, the fishing that we had last year extremely got better from what happens. You'll have your highs and lows depending on, everybody thinks it's getting overfished, but we've had one of the biggest sockeye runs this last 2 years.
Yeah.
Then it breaks the records. It's in the millions. I think they got 56 million in the bay, and we get 4 million or 5 million out of that coming up our river. So it's basically a conga line out there, and it's great fishing.
Yeah, it is. And that's the prime time of when we get to go there, which is in July.
In July is the even for next year, it's the perfect time to come up to the lodge.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a boat left for 2 or 3 people left for this year.
Yes, for this year we have the availability.
It's July 15th, right?
It's July 16th through the 23rd, and we have a boat available. So either 2 or 3,
which is rare.
One trip, I think someone canceled out of the group. It was booked, and then someone canceled. Right. So we still have one opening this year. If people want to get in it, come out and give Charmel a call at the 800 number.
Ricky's going this year with Dallas.
Yes,
they're going to revisit their engagement party that they had at the Katmai Lodge. So.
Yes, they did. Rick and Dallas got engaged right there on the beach by Eagles Bluff.
Yeah.
And so that was a neat event that we don't have too many. We've had actually a couple of them, to tell you the truth, and a few people who had their honeymoons there.
That's cool.
So that's pretty nice to be able to take your wife on a honeymoon.
Quite a place to go have a honeymoon. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to go with us, the cool thing is that it's generally 2 per boat, and with your guide. And but if you bring a 3rd person, and there's plenty of room on the boat for 3 people.
3 people, yeah. Especially that time of year, because you're mostly going to be getting out of the boat too, during that time.
You get that 3rd person for half price.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great, it's available, and you'll be fishing with Rick and Dallas and the whole group and the whole Let's Talk Hookup. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of great people.
Everybody knows, most people are from San Diego or up in LA, Monterey area that come out to it. And it's just a great group of guys that come out for it.
Yeah. A lot of people from Central Coast and such like that. Good people and a lot of, seasoned veterans, because they keep coming back.
Right.
Why is that, Bob? Why do they keep coming back?
the fishing's good. Why leave your fishing hole if the fishing's good?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're doing everything right, and you're you have so many repeat customers and people that just rave about the place. And before I went last year, so many people just gave me a whole breakdown of what to do and told me how great it was going to be. And then I got there and the fishing way over, went over the top of what everybody told me. When I got there and the sockeye run was just nothing like I've ever seen. And there was a river within the river of just flowing fish. It was just truly every cast fishing. And I thought this can't be this easy. And it was the entire time.
Yeah. On a fly. And you'd never really fly fish before.
I had never touched a fly rod in my life and really had never wanted to be honest with you. Sure. And then when we got there and I tried it a little bit, with every day I fell more in love with it. And by the end of it, that's all I wanted to do. Fishing the fly for a chum was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had anywhere for anything.
It is pretty cool. And that's also with the beginning of the chum season.
Oh, that is exactly right.
And you hook one of those chums on a fly rod. How about that?
It's like a freshwater yellowtail, you know, and they bite super aggressively and they go on wicked runs. And it took me, I don't know, 6 days into the trip before somebody explained to me that a fly reel has a drag on it. So I had just been getting my knuckles busted for 5 or 6 days. I was bleeding. You could almost see bone. And somebody finally explained to me, oh, there's a drag on there. I had no idea.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, a lot of people from San Diego come out and they're gear fishermen because that's pretty much all we use down here. And it brings them into that fly rod. It's like the boats both have gear and fly rods in the boats. And after you've caught your 20th chum and you've done, let's try a fly rod, and you actually learn and you pick it up and you go, wow, this is pretty neat. Once you get the hang of it, it's at first you'll have line all over. You just can't be frustrated and okay, I'll get this. But all of a sudden the light bulb turns on and you're starting to cast. And the nice part of it is every time you cast, you're more likely going to get a fish.
Yeah.
So that always helps, for the parts of this.
So you don't have to necessarily ever touch a fly rod at Katmai Lodge. If you don't want to, if you want to fish spin gear, you have all that stuff.
You have all that stuff.
And you don't need to own waders, boots, fly rods, spinning gear, none of that.
Our gear's always there. We have G Loomis rods. We got Shimano reels. We got all the Sims waders and Hodgman waders. We got boots. We got numerous size from small people all the way to the basketball players.
Yeah,
you literally have the best tackle you could buy. When I got there and saw that you're fishing with Loomis rods and Shimano reels, I was fishing a Vanford on the very first day, and this is like my favorite spinning reel of all time, and I was blown away by the quality of tackle. And then I put on these waders that are Sims, that I'm like, this is the most expensive single thing I've ever wore. This is Gucci beyond Gucci.
You got to be comfortable. And we have a good guy that runs our tackle room. And if you get a leaker or something like that, which does happen, someone pokes a hole in it from the customer, we'll get you another one. We have plenty of gear to just get yourself a new set of dry waders, because nobody wants to go out there with wet waders.
Sure.
For sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show. We've just scratched the surface of what's capable at Katmai Lodge. And it's a place that I would encourage any and all of our listeners to go to if they can in their lifetime, because it is truly special.
And just to let everybody know, one lucky caller today or texter will win a full day trip on the Liberty from Fisherman's Landing, plus 4 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa. And that's March 6th to the 9th.
Yeah. So 4 tickets to the PCS show and a trip on the Liberty up for grabs for a caller or a texter. The number to call, Jeff is standing by, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. A couple lines open right now, but they won't last for long. So you want to get through on the phones, 833-288-0973.
You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice, on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, at Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming welcome you aboard.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother, Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Seasoned Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-style metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFCO.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on 97.3 The Fan. We're having a great morning this morning talking with Bob from Katmai Lodge, one of the great places of the world. We got some phone lines open right now, and we have plenty of great texts coming through.
Yeah, indeed. Lines are packing up. 833-288-0973, and lots of good texts. And Ricky just texted me that said he's really bummed missing Bob because it's one of his all-time favorite places to go to, and he says he's homesick watching you on YouTube. So that's good.
I'm happy to. That's okay, Rick. Brandon's doing a great job here. You better watch it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to fill his chair. And again, when you told me that Bob was coming on, I wanted to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I remember when I first approached you about going to Katmai,
sure,
the opportunity, and you went, I don't know. And it's like, can you imagine missing that experience?
That was my true feeling. The idea of going to the furthest reach of the globe nearly and to go fly fishing for salmon was not something that was on my radar. It was not something that I necessarily fantasized about. But having gone and done it, it was one of the great experiences of my life. I've never, and I've said this on shows past when talking about Katmai Lodge, but I've never had a more like true fishing soulful experience than standing in the middle of a glacial fed river surrounded by Alaskan tundra, a moose off in the distance, and I'm presenting a fly to a chum salmon, and all by myself, quiet. The guide's doing his own thing with my partner up above me, and I had a real moment where this was maybe my favorite nature experience in general. And then I got bit and then got my knuckles all busted by that chum salmon.
Well, people think it's so hard to get there, and it's not. Out of San Diego and out of LA, they got direct flights to Anchorage.
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour flight. You land at Anchorage, you go to the local bar and you spend a night there and wake up in the morning and you're on the charter and you're fishing by noon.
You spend the night at the bar? You can, I guess, right?
Some people do.
Yeah, some people do. But there's actually a great hotel, the Coast Hotel, that you have literally right next to the airport.
Right.
That most people stay. And
very, very convenient. Very convenient. They have shuttle service right to the North Terminal where our charters go out of. And you show up in the morning and meet everybody that's going to be in your group that's there. And you're out at the lodge. Usually you land unless we have weather. We've had a couple times where we had bad weather. But you'll land at the lodge about 11 o'clock, meet your guide, go have some lunch, and you're fishing by 1 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Mr. Chum himself, Harold Davis.
Oh,
is on the line. Good morning, Harold.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Harold.
Gosh, it just gets you all excited listening to all that. I know that, yeah, exactly what Brandon is saying is true. It is just an epic place. And being able to fish in something like that, you owe it to yourself. I'm an ocean fisherman. Always like fishing the ocean. I'm a bass fisherman. I like fishing the bass. Wasn't really into river fishing. But once you do it, you want to go back because it is experiences that you'll talk about the rest of your life.
There's no question.
I think Brandon can attest to that because he was pretty nervous to start, I could tell, and he's pretty comfortable with the rod in his hand. But by day 3, he was, let's go get him.
Absolutely. And one of the things about Katmai Lodge is people like Harold Davis frequent there every year. And part of the trip, my trip last year to Katmai, was enhanced so greatly by the great people that like to frequent your establishment. It's the top level service, food, fishing you could possibly have. And then there's a communal aspect of great guys that like to come up there every year, make their annual pilgrimage. And I just had the best time with Harold. He made everybody laugh the whole time. And I learned a lot from him, just picking his brain at cocktail hour, at dinner, and trying to figure out what I was doing wrong fishing these flies for these chums, because I was smashing everything else, but I couldn't get these chums. And Harold went out there and just kicked their heads in every day. And with his tips, I got better and better and better every day.
So what were the tips that really made a difference?
Well, a lot of it had to do with letting the fly flow smoothly with no, without any jerky movement by me, which I was tending to be a little bit jerky. And then kind of trying to find the little swing in the channel or swing in the river where they're, coming up against it. And he could explain it more eloquently than I can. But when all the stars aligned, oh boy, was it good fishing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Harold, it is a very special place in all of our hearts, and everybody in this room, as well as you, Harold, I know, just can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, we can't wait to go. And I'll say something. I'll just say something in general. If you haven't been with Pete on a trip, then you're missing out because he's already ferreted out all the places you don't want to go.
That's right. That's right.
And so the places you go, you know that it's going to work. I mean, it's fun to go on vacation. Catching the fish is kind of a bonus. Everybody says that, but really the truth of the matter is you want to catch fish. And it's when you're standing there with 60,000 fish a day, literally 60,000 fish a day going past you, your odds are pretty good. We can fish anywhere, but you only catch them where they are, and they are there.
The fishing, it cannot be understated. On my very first day on with Harold there, I caught every species that was in the river at that time, or at least I was told, on one spinner. They gave me one spinner, and I caught every species in the very first day. And throughout the next several days, you did more catching than you did not. You had more casts with something attached to it than you had, an empty hook.
Yeah, it's always good to tell people that you're going to catch fish, and this is a good place to practice your skills and learn. And then once you do learn, you'll go and you'll start to try to catch one of the harder fish to catch. Maybe let's try to catch a king on the fly. If you've never done that, it's a wild ride once you hook up to 20, 25 pound king. And then you basically start having to chase it with the boat because you won't be able to land it on the beach most times.
Pretty amazing.
Well, and there's the effort involved in doing all this is actually pretty easy. Like Bob was saying, you could fly from anywhere right up to Anchorage. From there, you fly right out to the lodge. You don't have to pack anything, just a raincoat, and you're good to go.
Right. You don't need a big suitcase of gear. Because you're going to be in your waders most of the day.
Yeah. So like some of the places we go, you got to pack everything with you. So this isn't a long range trip where you have to have 20 rods and 20 reels and all the hooks and all the gear. Everything is there for you.
And no experience necessary either, I might add.
Oh, exactly.
No, and I was going to say, besides the guides are excellent. If you don't know how to fly cast, don't worry about it. They'll get you whipping that thing out there in 10 minutes. And really, you don't have to go that far. You can ask Brandon. Sometimes we stand 3 foot from the water to put the lure 5 foot in the water. And there they are. Boom, you're hit.
Yeah, I was blown away by that aspect, that there's literally fish swimming between your legs as you stand in inches of water at times. You know, there's more fish to cast at. It's almost hard to figure out which one to cast at.
So Harold, I'm just curious. I know you live in Morro Bay, the land of the wind. Are you like duck hunting right now or something like that? 'Cause it sounds like it's a little breezy.
Oh, no, I'm standing here in the parking lot looking at Morro Rock watching the surf.
Yeah, gotcha.
Are you going to get out there? You got a longboard ready?
No, those days are over. Once proud body gone bad.
Oh my God. Well, Harold, great to hear from you. And I know you're a huge Katmai Lodge fan and huge fan of everything they do. And I know you spread the word a lot to our listeners and people that you know. And it's never a disappointing. Have you ever known anybody that was disappointed that went to Katmai Lodge?
I have not.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, more times than not, they say sign me up for next year.
Yeah. And that
we do have a great group coming out already. We're already booking for next year, so it's really looking good, Harold.
And you said it's pretty much like pretty full for 2026 already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you better get on it. Yeah. All right, Harold. Well, great to hear
thanks
from
for calling,
you.
Harold.
Thanks
Good
for
talking
calling.
to you.
Great to hear from you, and always a pleasure. And stay out of that wind there. Stay warm.
All right. I'll do it. Talk to you later.
Hey, let's jump into the phones there. They're packed up and they want to talk to them.
Absolutely. Let's talk to John from San Diego. Good morning, John.
Good morning, guys. I was interested in maybe taking my spouse up to Katmai and was wondering what kind of activities might be for the non-fisher person.
Well, that's a great question because, tell you the truth, that's becoming real popular at the lodge right now. It's a way to take someone that's not really a great fisherman or doesn't like fishing a lot. But we are in the Katmai National Park preserve there. So we have total access to the actual the gates of Katmai National Park. And we can take the wives and yourself too, or you can fish and she goes or someone else goes with her. They're guided, but we take her over to do the bear viewing on the platform over in the park. And that is really cool. It's a complete day, a whole day in the park. You have lunch at the park. We have a naturalist that walks with your wives or wives if you go with someone else. And a lot of times people will come out and it'll be a pair of couples, and the guys will stay at the lodge and fish, and the women go to the park to view the bears. And then we also do a sightseeing tour that is on our river, and you'll be able to just drive up and down the river. We have bears on our river, and it's just great to pull up and watch. And these guys can contest to that, and just sit there and watch the bear fish, and
which is so cool.
What is very cool. And then you go hiking. We have a little church that the old Russian Orthodox has. It's kind of a building down there, but it's kind of neat to go there and look inside and see the altar there. It's part of history of the river system itself. And then there's berry picking. She kind of keeps you entertained, or keeps your wives entertained for quite a while.
So you have somebody that's like a naturalist
that is correct, right? Rebecca. She's the one that comes.
But the other thing I might mention too is if she wanted to fish a day or two with you on the river, and not necessarily fish a lot, but just being on the river is an experience in itself.
Right. And we a lot of times the wives will go out in the morning after breakfast and go fish for a couple hours. They're tired of fishing because they're not really a fisherman, and you're not very far away from the lodge all the time. So you just run back to the lodge, have lunch. She stays at the lodge, goes into the dining hall or the main lodge and relaxes, reads a book, and then you go back fishing with your buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
And just running from spot to spot is like a nature tour in and of itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was blown away to see moose and bear and all the animals that you see in that Russian Orthodox church is so cool. And you get to learn about.
Did you go down there? Did you?
We went to it, and then on that particular day it was super rainy and super boggy.
Gotcha. Yeah, but
it was just several people on the trip went after having gone to Brooks Falls. And just raved about it, showed me the pictures. It's such I had no idea the history of where you guys are at.
Yeah, actually, people were born and raised on the river back in the day. No hospitals.
Yeah,
crazy.
Cool. Now, we mentioned that we're giving away tickets to PCS. You and Charmel are going to be at the
absolutely.
PCS show,
We'll be
right?
at the PCS
You're
show.
gonna have a booth?
Yep, we'll have the same booth right there in the main. I forget which building it is, but we're there.
Yeah, you're there. So don't forget to go by and say hi to them, book a trip.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Come by if you have
can
any
take
more
advantage of
questions.
that Let's Talk Hookup special, because our listeners get a special deal at
Yes,
Katmai.
they do.
You don't give special deals to anybody,
Right? No,
except for our listeners.
exactly.
And it's like $500 off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mention Pete Gray and Rick, and that's automatic. All you need to do.
Yeah.
Get with Charmel, and you want to be part of the Let's Talk Hookup fly-in, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
and the trip, and you
it.
get on it, and it's great.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Hey, let's jump into the phones again, and they're packed up. And
let's talk to Ron from Imperial Beach. Good morning, Ron. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys?
Hey, Ron.
Wonderful.
Hey, Ron, thanks.
I thought I was in for the free trip.
Yeah. Well, we're not giving away. Yeah, we're giving away a trip on the Liberty for sure. Yeah. Did you have a question, or are you just looking for a free prize?
No, I didn't have a question. I just woke up and thought you guys are you giving the trip away at the end of the show?
That's right. That's how we do it here. But thanks for
well,
calling.
Thanks for the call,
appreciate
Ron.
that very much. Hey, Wayne Kodo is on the line. Good morning, Wayne.
Morning, Pete, Brandon. Hey, Bob. How's it going?
Good, Wayne. How you doing?
Man, I miss seeing you at the shows. We used to do the live broadcast and sit next to each other on Saturday or Sunday morning. So, miss those days.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I know the listeners heard from Dave Pfeiffer yesterday. We had real good success at the Fish and Game Commission meeting this last week. We probably won't get us out of a bag limit restriction going into this next year. We won't know until April on the final vote. But what we're asking is, our part of it was they needed the science. They need the data. We need to improve their models and forecasting tools so that we don't get into this kind of a rub going forward. So all of us are trying to work together. The sport boats will be collecting data, but the private fishermen, anglers, the kayak fishermen, surf people, they all need to contribute too. So until we put a formal process together, what I've decided is, hey, you guys are on the water, use our measuring tools, whether you're in one of the bass tournaments or use a STAR fish measuring device, ruler, and just take pictures of your fish, of your sand bass. Give me the approximate geographical location, San Diego Bay, I'm out in La Jolla, Pacific, whatever, wherever you're at. Put that in an email and send it to me, because we need to start collecting that data. And especially, we want small fish, because they believe the department, part of their study said that there weren't the juvenile fish out there. And we need to start collecting that data to help fill in the model for them. So until we put a formal process together with CCA Cal, I'm having people just take the pictures and send me that email to my email address at WayneKSB@gmail.com.
All right. Give it to us again, Wayne.
It's WayneKSB@gmail.com.
Of course, this is your retirement project, right? Since you just retired from CCA California.
Sir.
What?
One of many.
One of many, yeah. Now, you can't keep Wayne
I'm still
down.
passionate, and I still believe. So.
Well, Wayne, God bless you for fighting for the
Absolutely.
rights of fishermen. I'm so thankful people like you are out there doing what you're doing.
No question about it. Yeah. Thanks, Wayne. And again,
we all work together.
Give us your email again. And again, so what you're looking for is pictures and measurements of sand bass that you catch, whether it be on your kayak, whether it be
put it on
your
measuring
boat,
device
whatever.
and take the picture like we do with any catch photo release tournament, right? You put it on the measuring device so they can accurately see it's 14 point, a quarter inches or whatever, and then snap that picture and email it to me along with the approximate geography where you're at, and send that email to WayneKSD@gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, Wayne, for all you do. Appreciate that. Keep up the good work. And of course, I might mention while you're on the line, speaking of PCS, you are going to be helping us out in the Let's Talk Hookup booth.
I dropped him.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Wayne will be right there with us in the Let's Talk Hookup booth, as well as I'm sure you'll see him in the CCA booth and many other booths at the show. But he's kind of running along with Tommy P. A special show raffle for raising money for Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, taking kids fishing, selling tickets for $10 a piece. And there's lots of incentives for more. And we're giving away a Talica 12 2-speed, a Torium 20, pair of Costa sunglasses, and some other stuff too. So go see Wayne at the PCS booth, the Let's Talk Hookup booth, and get some tickets and take kids fishing. How's that sound? All right. Hey, you have a great text?
I do. A bunch of them are coming through. Everybody that has the app, I can't recommend it more. It's a great way to send in your questions and get your chance at winning one of these great prizes that you give away. But the first text I have says, "Good morning, boys. Great show. How many days is enough to get the full experience at the lodge? Do you guys supply all the gear for fishing? Thanks." That's Rory in Lakeside.
Well, the best way is our 7-day package. We have 7-day, 4-day, and 3-day packages, and depending on your schedule and how you can get away from work or call in sick to work, one or the other. But to get the full experience, our 7-day package is the best. It gives you plenty of time to not just have to, get up in the morning and fish. You can relax. You can get up when you want to get up. You can leave when you want to leave. You can come back when you want to come back. It's one of the advantages of a lodge and fish in the river is you're not stuck on the boat if you, for some reason, you're not feeling that great or something and you want to come back, or the weather gets cold and you don't want to go out. You just tell your guide, and hey, I'm done for the day. Let's go to happy hour. And come back in. Plus, obviously, if you're going that far, you got to go look at the bears. Even though it sounds we're all fishermen, but it's a bucket list thing for most things. It's one of the national parks. Best.
It's National Geographic.
That's where the picture is, guys. When you were a kid watching National Geographic and the commercial came on before the thing starts, that bear standing there, catching that fish, jump in the water. That is the spot that we take you to. So when you've seen it, these guys have seen it. I don't think, Brandon, you didn't go, did you?
I did not. No,
okay,
and I regret it every day.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you saw plenty of bears on the river.
Right.
I did.
You say bears on the river, but it's just you just check that box.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you just have to go back, Brandon.
I would love to, and I can't wait. Yeah, I regret not going, but boy, did I have some cool experiences with with bears throughout the trip.
Let me mention, make reference on what Rory was talking about, the length of trip. I've done the 4-day package.
Correct.
And I've done the 7-day package. Both are fantastic. And the 4-day package is very doable, but I can promise you'll want more before you leave on the fourth day.
Yes, that's
why the 7-day package is so cool.
Right. And Saturday to Saturday. You leave Friday to go. You get off. Start heading up to Anchorage on Friday. On the following Saturday, we have you back. Usually around noon time, Anchorage time. So you'll catch either the evening flights, the ones that come back into LA or San Diego, get you home about 7, 8 o'clock at night. You have a full day on Sunday to unwind and get your stuff on and to start working on Monday morning.
Yeah. It's a very clean up.
So we'll do a Saturday and a Wednesday to Wednesday. So you have that option to go either one.
All right. And I think this year with that spot open for us is a Wednesday to Wednesday, I think. I believe.
With the group, I think the group's a 4-day trip, right?
Well, our group is a 7-day.
7-day, right? Yeah. Okay, you're right. It's 7 days.
I think it's a Wednesday to Wednesday, which is kind of cool.
And you want the 7 days. If you're going to that, I mean, the 4-day trip is great, but if you're going that far, top of the globe, one of the coolest places on the planet Earth, you want the opportunity to
get the full experience.
And you're in Alaska. You get a little piece of Alaska weather every day.
That's
and
a good point.
It's ever changing. So
and there's also things to do prior to getting to the lodge too. Once you can go into Anchorage, and there's plenty to do there. You can go to Whittier where the cruise ships come in. There's great towns like Talkeetna where it's Denali National Park.
We've done a fly out where we land on glaciers.
Yes,
stuff like
you can
that,
do
which
all
is
that
super
too.
cool.
So you can come in a couple
the
days
train
earlier.
up to Denali, like
take
you
the
say,
train
yeah.
or down to Seward. There's a shorter train that goes to Seward and back. Just takes you there for the day. Have lunch. You come back in that evening. So there's multiple things to do in Anchorage.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
All right. Well, you're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The best just got better. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 20A and 25A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship two-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. The Shimano's Talica success is driven by its durability and spec attributes, allowing the series to differentiate from other lever drag reels within the market. The Talica is built around a cold-forged machined aluminum one-piece frame. The all-new Talica 20A and 25A now boasts Infinity Drive. Infinity Drive employs 2 drag washers housed in the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load as much as 40%. There's also a new lower low gear. If your utmost concern is performance without compromise, Talica 20A and 25A are the reels for you. Available now at your local Shimano dealer. Gamakatsu is not just all about hooks. There's so much more, including the new Gamakatsu fillet knives. Once you try one, you'll always want more. The new tools are also very special, including the Gamakatsu braid scissors made with ceramic blades so they'll never rust. Check out the new lineup of shirts and hats, and of course, Gamakatsu fishing pliers and boxes are amazing. Gamakatsu, much more than just the best hooks. Get them at your local tackle shop or at gamakatsu.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, Elgato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Hey, this is Captain Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats, as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check westcoastmarine.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice here atop the sport fishing headquarters, and we're having a great time talking to Bob from Katmai Lodge.
Yeah, for sure. And great time here talking about Alaska and a lot of good fishing. But it's time for the Catch Report. And the Catch Report today, sponsored by Summit Gasoline and the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up your car, your truck, your boat with the lowest gas and diesel prices. Hey, did you know that Summit is also the place to get the lowest price on ice and snacks for your trip? They have over 40 snacks available, all for just 89 cents. Now you can get Bombazo burritos made by the renowned chef, and you can choose from 6 different types, including smoked bacon and egg. Sounds great for breakfast. And then Finn's favorite is the chorizo. Only $3.99 for 25-pound bag of ice. Plus, you get 100 pounds of free ice with a 35-gallon fill-up. That's Summit Gasoline, the best place to go. That's right next to the San Diego Sports Arena, and free ice for Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest price for your gas and diesel prices for sure. And let's start up at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Captain Brian Willie's on the line. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good stuff in there this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So for us, our report this week, abbreviated week, thanks in part to the weather for sure. But the days that we were able to get off the dock, we had pretty light lows, which is nice, for first timers or, bringing those kids out for sure. So we've been doing well on the sculpin for our anglers, and it's been plenty good. Any rubber lure in a pink, red, or kind of orange hue, whether it's a swim bait, a grub, or a twin tail scampi style lure, has been the hot ticket for us with those sculpin. It's been very productive, and again, perfect for getting some of those first timers out on the water. The bass fishing for us this week did remain a bit slow. Again, cooler water temps this week. It was kind of all over the place, as you'd imagine. 55 to 58 was kind of the gap there that we had to work with this week, thanks in part to that front. But things did get kind of churned up, a little bit of a swell yesterday, behind all that weather that pushed through. So water was a bit dirty in the areas that have been more productive. So it was just kind of been a hunt and peck kind of deal, trying to find those little zones with a little bit better water, a little bit better current and movement and stuff like that. So still the guys targeting the bass, light line approaches were the way to go. 8 to 12 pound line, light sinkers, like 3/8 to a ½ ounce sliding egg sinker, just enough to get your bait down mid-water or towards the bottom. And the anchovies were the ticket there for the bites on the bass. Our halibut trip this week, again, just weather related, didn't get off the dock because of the wind, but we are good to go for this coming Friday. We've got a nice load of reservations for our halibut derby trip that we'll be leaving and drifting around looking for that stuff on Friday. And that's pretty much it. I will tell you that the Fury does have his April schedule up and online, and he's got a lot of solid followers that want to fish open party, and this is the time of the year that he's going to have those openings because he's going to be all chartered up during the busy part of the season. So good early spring, late winter fishing there at Clemente, however you want to break it down, is probably what he'll be doing, targeting some rockfish, maybe a chance of some yellow with the amount of squid that seems to be all over the islands currently. So book those trips. It's all online if you want to see that. I'd recommend getting your reservations in early and adjusting your schedule accordingly. But that's kind of it for us. And then, I didn't hear all of Wayne's report, but I know he needs those pictures on sand bass. And we had a good outcome at the Fish and Game Commission meeting this week. Thank you to all of the people that wrote letters and made phone calls and actually gave testimony up there. It was a good collaborative effort from, the team that Ken Frankie put together that went up there. And of course, the angling community. Then, also some willing commissioners to really look at our side of the puzzle there. So it was good collaborative effort, and it's looking like, it's going to be a 1 fish reduction in our bag limit, but still totally workable. And it's good, refreshing to see, that collaborative work from both sides to come to a mutual agreement on what's best for the resource without a major impact on industry. So it's a good outcome there as well.
That's fantastic news. And so it looks like a 1 fish bag limit reduction, but then they're not going to close the season during June, July, August, or whatever, like they were talking about, right?
Right. I mean, that's still, I guess, technically a possibility, but what they told us while we were there is that they're comfortable with the 1 fish. They'll go back to their science, review a few things before their next meeting in March, where some decisions will be made on that. But that's what they told us, and that's what we're okay with that. And it came out to a pretty good consensual agreement there.
And that'll come down in March. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so. Yeah, they're going to make some decision there, and then it'll go into regulation sometime thereafter.
All right. Very good. All right, Captain Brian Woolley, Dana Orr Sport Fishing. Thanks for that. This looks like a good week of weather here coming up. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great week. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for calling. Appreciate that very much. Now you have a great text too again.
I do. I have a bunch of them.
They're
flowing in steady. The first text I want to bring up. This comes from Dan from Phillips Ranch. It says, "Good morning, boys. Another great and informative show. Question for Bob. I've always planned to visit a lodge in Alaska and have been researching your location. I'm wondering if you can help me understand what a typical day looks like for your guest, and what are some of the standout features that your lodge puts your lodge above the competition. Also, when is the most ideal time for weather and fishing to visit your lodge?"
Well, great question. And what we have here is the the difference between our lodge and I would say half of the other lodges up in Alaska, and you have to look at location where they're at. So if you look at the map, and it's kind of I could explain it if you come up to the show at the PCS show up there in Costa Mesa. If you look at it, you'll see that half of the state has got a road system and half of the state doesn't have a road system. So more the lodges that are on the side of the hill, and it's basically the Alaska Range. When you fly over the Alaska Range, you now are in the true remote Alaska, meaning that this is what everybody's thinking of when you're down there in by Anchorage, Sitka, Homer. You have multiple cars that drive around. So if you can drive to your lodge in a car, you're more than likely not in a remote part of Alaska.
Yeah, you could be combat fishing. We're going to continue that when we come back. We have another full hour here of Let's Talk Hookup. A lot more from Bob Kantor and you. Stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
But those of us who live here know it's a great time of year to
I
go
heard
fishing,
the
and
music
certainly
coming out.
not
I'm
time to
going,
put your gear away. This is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. This is the ideal time for bay bass fishing, and I get the inside scoop from Johnny. Heck, he will even rent you one of our killer blue skiffs. This is also a good time to go work on your reels, and Doug is the man for that job. If big largemouth bass are your bag, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. They have all the right stuff and live bait for a perfect day on the lake. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is super cool too, for both freshwater and saltwater tackle. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
You know, whether you're going fishing, diving, or just having fun on the water, there's nothing more worth doing than messing around in boats. So let me ask you, are you ready to upgrade your ride? Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland is your exclusive Western U.S. dealer for Steiger Craft. Created for inshore and offshore waters and laid out with the serious fisherman in mind, Steiger Craft has built a solid reputation for performance and excellent rough water handling. If adventure on the water is what you live for, now's the time to invest in your passion. Call Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland at 510-437-1444. To look at the whole fleet of Steiger Craft online, go to steigercraft.com. Now's the time for a rugged, reliable, and fast Steiger Craft from Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
This is Jake Cronenworth from the San Diego Padres.
Cronenworth to third, standing with a 3-run triplet. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan and Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Let's Talk Hookup, hour number 2 right here on 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, Facebook Live, and, of course, that Let's Talk Hookup app. And, of course, we don't mention a lot, but the letstalkhookup.com, our website, also streams it too. Pete Gray here, along with Brandon Bono, filling in this morning. He's our third man on the list, but, boy, we need him this week because poor Ricky's really sick, and so is poor Corey, man. It's been a tough bout with the flu this year.
And I'm so happy to fill in for him. And what a great day we're having with Bob from Katmai Lodge. I love his establishment, and I just jumped at the chance to be here for this one.
And it was so perfect because you just visited there last July during the Let's Talk Hookup trip. And I remember when you came back, I said, what'd you think? And your eyes were about 15 feet wide. Just like, wow.
Incredible. Nothing short of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we're talking about the world's greatest fisherman, right here. That's what I call him. Because this guy fishes. His life is all about fishing. And so when
that's always good when you have a fisherman like that who wants to come back.
When he says he's a Katmai Lodge fan, there's something to it for sure. Right. Yeah, definitely. Well, and we're giving away great prizes.
Well, we really are, and you always do. There's one lucky caller or texter will win a full day trip aboard the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing, plus 4 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa, and that's March 6th through the 9th.
Yeah, and speaking of which, so next weekend on Let's Talk Hookup, a couple great shows. Mike and Kaylin from Ray Marine will be here. Ray Marine's making some amazing stuff. I have it on my boat. It's unbelievable. They're going to have a huge display at PCS show, and they're going to be here to tell you all about it. That's on Saturday. And then next Sunday, Bill and Mike from the PCS show will be here in the studio to tell you all about that fantastic show coming up. And I know Fisherman's Landing Tackle is going to have a massive booth, right?
That's an amazing show that they put on, and we will have a massive booth yet again. And Two Fish Jigs will have the largest presentation we have ever had at Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop at the PCS show.
Wow.
And the Katmai Lodge booth at the PCS show is what got me intrigued about going to the place. And after I saw your wall mounts, the videos that you're playing, I got so juiced to go up there.
It was like, okay, I can't wait.
Here we go. Yeah.
So look forward to that at of course, the Orange County Fairgrounds right there in Costa Mesa. Easy in and out. Great.
Easy,
whether you're in LA, San Diego, Orange County, doesn't matter. It's the place to go for sure. And that's coming up, I believe, in 3 weeks. So
that's correct. March 6th through the 9th.
Yeah. We'll be there. Right.
It's
now.
on us. Yeah.
We'll be there too. We'll be there too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Hey, continuing that question.
Yeah. Okay. We were back. We took the commercial break. We were just at the remoteness of the lodge. And so when you fly to Anchorage, and if you wanted to go to Kenai or any of the other places, you probably heard of it, the Kenai Peninsula, which is very famous. There's fishing's there good. They've really cracked down on the king fishing there, but the fish are still available. But you're fishing right next to elbow to elbow. We call it the combat fishing or cruise ship fishing, where it reminds me of one of the cattle boats.
I've done it before. It's not a pleasant experience.
You're going to catch fish. Yes, you're going to catch fish. It's going to be a little less expensive. Yes, it's going to be less expensive, but you're not getting the remoteness.
You're not getting the true Alaska experience.
True Alaska. And when you come up there to get that true Alaska experience, you want to be on a beach, on a bar with you and your buddy and the guide, and nobody else next to you.
Right.
That's the difference.
Let's specify a sandbar.
Sandbar.
Yeah.
Sandbar. Yeah. So you're right. I should have said sandbar or gravel bar. We call them. It's mostly gravel because that's what the fish are spawning in the gravel. That's why our river is so good. It's just nothing but a big gravel bar. What it is. And then your day starts with breakfast. You get up in the morning and the restaurant opens at 6. We have 3 chefs and a pastry chef, so we got 4 people throughout the day cooking you.
Unbelievable.
So you get up, you have yourself. You want an omelet, you want just eggs over easy, or you just want some cereal, some oatmeal. You start your day. You go. You have your breakfast. You've already met with the guide the night before, and he's preparing your lunch. So you'll say, "Hey, I want to cook a fish on the river." So you'll have breakfast. He'll get your boat all ready to go. You go eat your breakfast, go put your waders on. You walk down to the dock. You jump in the boat.
And you don't have to go early.
You do not have to go early.
I mean,
if you
generally speaking, if you want to go at 8 o'clock, seems to be the departure time.
Yeah, 8
If you
o'clock.
want to go a little earlier, that's fine.
Or you want to go a little later because you fished for 2 days in a row and you're a little sore from catching all the fish. So you start your day and then you head out to the river, and you're not going far. You're just going 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe most 45 minutes, depending on what you want to catch that day. And then you start catching fish at lunchtime. You'll catch a salmon, a nice silver or a king, and he'll whack it on a sockeye, whatever you're there, the time that you're there, whatever fish is running, he'll whack it on the head. He'll slice it up. Each boat has its own barbecue in it. So he'll set the barbecue up. He'll be cooking a nice salmon fillet with all the trimmings, the salads, and whatever beverage you want, whether it's beer, wine, or just Coke or water, whatever you like to drink. He'll cook it up for you. You'll be fishing all this whole time, and you'll come in. You'll have lunch right there on the sandbar, and you'll eat, and then you'll go back fishing. He'll clean the boat up, and you'll continue your day. We like to get you back at the launch ramp or the boat ramp right around 5 o'clock, 5:30 ish. Not just for safety reasons, is we have the boats going out. I want to make sure everybody's home. To make sure that there's no stragglers, because even though you do have boats, sometimes a boat won't work.
Yeah.
So you do have that safety reason. Go take a nice hot shower, and that's what the best thing of the whole day is, that nice hot shower that you take in your own bathroom and your own toilet. And then you come for happy hour at 6. You have a little bit of drinks. You see all your pictures on the wall talk to all your other anglers that you're with. And
the guides take great pictures.
Yeah,
they all have cameras.
They all have cameras, and
when you go home, you'll go home with a whole load of your pictures.
We actually even have a better system now since we've changed it up. They just download everything right to your phone.
Oh my!
So it makes it a lot easier for everybody to have it, because everybody just uses their phone anymore.
Yeah.
No one wants. We used to give hard drives with them. But that's already long gone. And then you'll have dinner, and a great dinner is every night. There's something different. We'll have prime rib night. We have steak night. We have fish night. We have Italian night. Depending on which day you're in, and we have Thanksgiving is my favorite one.
Yeah.
We call it Grandma's Thanksgiving. That's Sundays, and it's turkey, just like you'd have at Grandma's.
Yeah. No, the food's amazing.
Of the infinite things that you are doing right at your lodge, the food blew my mind. You guys pour it on. It's top level food. The staff there couldn't be nicer and more accommodating.
And you're in the middle of nowhere.
The middle of nowhere. How did you do this?
Right. That's the difference between our lodge and most other lodges.
Yeah, for sure.
Your
attention to
your
detail.
staff is incredible, and I can't recommend enough to the listeners. I grew up watching fishing shows on television, and I always dreamed of having a true proper shore lunch. And every day we got to, because you provide these grills, we got to have a true proper shore lunch. And there's a bear up the river, and there's a moose walking by, and there's bald eagles flying over your head. It was one of the highlights of the trip for me.
And you're eating a barbecued lunch. And if you don't like fish, they bring burgers or
absolutely.
chicken or whatever you want.
They'll ask you the night before, what would you like? If you had fish the last 2 days, you say, no, I want something different. Maybe a piece of prime rib or a sandwich or a burger or hot dogs. We have all that available.
But I got to say, is there anything much better than a piece of sockeye, fresh sockeye
just
caught
it's the best
on the barbecue?
Before
on
this
the
trip,
river?
I didn't know that was the case. And one day, me and the guide were having an argument about what the best eating salmon was, and he promised me it was a sockeye. And I was like, "There's no way." They call it the king salmon for a reason. It's the king of salmon. And we argued back and forth. And sure enough, throughout the day, I caught every species of salmon that was in the river, and we kept one of each. We ate a fillet of one of each. And no question about it, he was right. You guys were right. Sockeye salmon is the king. They should call sockeye salmon the king.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the thing is, you get to go home with a 50-pound box.
Yeah, and that's another thing we offer with our lodge is we box up a 50-pound box of fillets. It's all vacuum packed, vacuum sealed, all the processing. We band it, and away it goes with you, per person.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I know it's a preference thing, but I've been on a lot of trips to a lot of exotic locations. I've never come back with a box of better fish than that box of sockeye you sent me home
really
with.
good, huh?
And I was everybody's best friend. You know, every neighbor came by, everybody I knew. Corey Sandin drove up to the front door, and I handed them out, and everybody was super
it's going
thankful.
for like $18 a pound.
Yeah,
right
sure.
now at the store.
Crazy. Hey, here's Carl Schmidt from, of course, Fisherman's Landing is saying he's at the Houston Fishing Show watching us on YouTube. So,
Is that
hey,
right?
Carl.
Good morning,
hey,
Carl. I'm missing you.
Nice to see you. Yeah, we miss you over here, but he's the showman.
He is the
He's all over
showman.
the
Yeah,
place.
he was built for it, born for it, and we send him to all the shows.
For sure. Well, hey, let's continue our catch report. Gundy Gunderson, our surf guru extraordinaire, is on the line. Good morning, Gundy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good morning,
show.
Gundy.
Very interesting stuff. Well, we got some rain, but before the rain, we saw some real good signs, and I think that's what we're gonna, hang our hat on. They had 3 inches of rain up there in Santa Barbara, according to Hook, Line, Sinker. But prior, we talked about a 15-inch barred perch. Then we had a 12-inch and a 10-inch. So some quality fish starting to show, and that's something to look at. The other thing about a heavy rain like we just had is that it's going to form those sandbars, trenches, holes, things like that. So this is habitat you're going to be fishing going forward here the next several weeks. The other thing down in Oceanside, they had 2 halibut over 30 inches in the lagoon, so that's a good sign. You're starting to see maybe some of those hens moving. A lot of smaller fish the guys are really picking up. Live bait was best down there. 2.4 ounce or 2 pound 4 ounce barred perch leads the derby there, caught on a bloodworm, and they had a 1 pound 8 ounce fish before the rain, caught on a lucky craft. So that's something to keep an eye on too. So we're moving in the right direction, just a little hiccup. But I tell you, go down to the beach and look at what's formed with 3 inches of rain. There's going to be some sand moving around. And like I said, those are the things you're going to focus on going forward.
Yeah, for sure, Gundy. And wow, what a good surf report. And, always something to catch in the surf once things calm down a little bit, right?
That's right. We're headed to March. That's halibut time. So stick with it.
I like it, man. All right. Thanks, Gundy. Appreciate that. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, you guys. Have a good week.
All right. You too. Thanks very much. All right. And that catch report's wrapped up. It's sponsored by surffishtackle.com. It's your source for all things surf fishing, all your surf fish tackle at surffishtackle.com. And Brandon, let's jump back on the phones. There is one line open. You want to get through? Jeff standing by, 833-288-0973.
Let's talk to Alex in San Carlos. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, guys. I was calling a real specific question. If you want to take one of these trips and you don't want to pack your whole DSLR camera and stuff like that, do you guys have a recommendation on a digital camera that's rugged enough and then waterproof, also takes great pictures, just so you can actually blow up pictures? Because on your cell phone, you're kind of limited to what you could actually print out and blow up.
Well, we have we basically have a dry box that we can put your gear in. I've seen everything from long telephoto lens, Nikons, depending on the angler, and sometimes they're photographers there. We do a wilderness package where that's all we do is drive people around with their cameras, and I've seen everything from $5,000 cameras all the way to iPhones. I don't know the recommendation of what you're.
I have a recommendation for you, and I use it everywhere. The only problem is the telephone. Sometimes you want to get that perfect shot of the bear, and it does have a pretty good telephoto on it, but it's the Olympus. I'm looking it up here. It's the Olympus. And they make several. They keep upgrading them. But the thing about this model is it's waterproof to 50 feet. You drop it, and I've dropped mine several times. It's drop proof from 7 feet, and it takes fabulous pictures. I've taken all those pictures I took, and I put an underwater. When I went to Indonesia, and I put an underwater case on it. I took all those pictures with a flash of the underwater shots that I had on it. and it's the TG7. I have a TG6. They keep upgrading them, of course, and they make them better. But it's the Olympus TG7. It's about $500, and I took all the shots that I took on the rivers down in Patagonia with me. It's a great travel camera and perfect for that situation because it's waterproof, and if it starts raining, it doesn't matter.
Great. It's all You can't have anything out there that can't get wet.
Yeah, and I know a lot of your guides have similar cameras too that you supply them, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
we have the basic cameras but it sounds like you're more photogenic than most. I would take Pete's recommendation and go with that one.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. You have a great text too, right?
I do. I have a bunch of great texts. They're loaded on here. So let me pull this first one up. This one says, "Hi guys, good morning. Katmai Lodge is my bucket list trip. I'm interested in bringing my wife, and she doesn't fish a lot. Can the lodge guides teach her how to fish on the river?" And that's from Rob in Seal Beach.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they're there for. They'd love to have people that are not fly fishermen learn how to fly fish. And the waters that we have, our sandbars and our gravel bars, are really wide open. So the best way to learn is go into the middle river, get yourself on a nice bar, and practice your casting right from the sandbar, where behind you there's nothing. So you can make mistakes and not get all tangled up and frustrated. And they love to teach her, and that's what they're there to do.
Yeah, my wife Lolly loves to catch. She doesn't necessarily like to fish.
Right.
She likes to catch.
But that's the beautiful thing about the lodge.
Yeah,
is you're gonna catch.
You're gonna catch. And she loves Katmai Lodge. Right. She every aspect of Katmai Lodge is about it. Just the from the shore lunch to the seeing the bears, the moose, the experience, and the catching. That she loves.
That's it. They don't get frustrated once they catch a fish.
Yes.
They want to do it again and again. And you can bring in 20, 30 fish before lunchtime easily, without a problem, for the worst angler that you can possibly throw at it.
Yeah.
And especially like when the chums are there and the pinks are there, it's almost in every cast.
Yeah.
And you have such an incredible lineup of guides. So there were some of the most fun and like accommodating guides you could possibly ever come across.
Oh,
and
they better be. They better be.
And they've dealt with people of all skill levels.
Yeah. And they love someone that wants to learn, the ladies and all that, because they're just standing there watching. They catch fish after fish after fish, and they always want to teach someone how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. One thing we haven't covered is the trout fishing there. The trout fishing can be unbelievable, especially as you get into the fall, the fall
season, towards the silvers, which is one of the favorite ones that I like to fish with.
So much fun.
Is the silver fishing, and the trout fishing goes hand in hand, because in our river system, the sockeyes swim all the way through the river, go through the lakes, and spawn above the lakes. But the chum salmon and the pink salmon actually lay their eggs in our river. So the trout start coming down from the lakes to feed on the trout.
Yeah.
And then the trout, they're just really, and you can, you've been there, Pete. You know what I'm talking about.
It's and you're sight casting a lot of times.
You're seeing, because the water's so clear that you can see the fish. And my favorite thing is a mouse, catching a trout on a fly line with a mouse, and it's floating line. You toss your mouse across the little channel and let it jump into the water, and you're kind of basically imitating a little mouse or a rat, swimming across the water, scurrying across. And these rainbows, the big ones, love them.
Oh yeah, they come up. It's like surface iron fishing on steroids.
Right, and it literally explodes out of the water going up, or I've seen them jump before the mouse and come down on them on top of them, and that is just seeing that itself is worth the catch.
The hardest part of that, Brandon, you got to wait to set the hook.
Is that right?
Because you got to make sure that they're coming down and they have that big old thing in their mouth.
And it makes it a little bit harder to catch because we're using barbless hooks, We're in the national park, so they use barbless hooks for the trout. So once you do catch it, you got to keep that line taut. And if you let it slack off as he's splashing and going, he's going to pop off, and you got to go get another one.
It is,
right.
And that's the thing about it, the variety there.
Right.
So during a pink year, which is 2026,
correct,
is the trout fishing better in the Alagnac River, which is your main river, because of all those eggs in the river?
It's going to improve. It definitely improves on even, but it's still great when it's not. Because there's multiple the kings are spawning in our river. The chums are spawning, but the pinks it just adds another 2 million fish in our river. So yeah, it is. It's just
they're literally swimming through your legs.
Yeah, and you got to watch out, because if you let your lure hit, or your fly hit the water while you're walking back to the boat, more than likely one's going to swim through your legs and you're going to hit.
Yeah.
And then we've snapped many of poles that way, because no one. Yeah, they're carrying their rod, and all of a sudden the thing takes off.
Yeah. Well, Loomis rods are guaranteed for life. So. Hey, Gary, the Iron Man himself from Lawndale says, "Good morning, Bob. I fly fish Alaska in the Kenai River. What fish could I catch at your lodge? Is it catch and release only?"
No, it's we have all 5 species of salmon that run up our river. And so it's not catch and release for the salmon. We have the bag limits for it, but our kingfishing's still available right now. They've canceled the kingfishing in the Kenai River, and all in the Cook Inlet basically is shut down for kingfishing. If you do catch one, you got to let it go. But in our river, we can still keep them.
Yep.
The only fish that is catch and release is the rainbow trout. So if you catch a rainbow, you take your picture, which are great pictures when the sun is shining, and you got to let it go. But you definitely keep all your salmon.
And your rainbow trout, for all our Southern California listeners, are a different species than what we're used to in our stocked ponds down here.
A lot bigger. There's no stocked fish up there.
They pull hard,
and they're gorgeous. Like every one you catch, it doesn't matter if it's 8 inches or 28 inches, is picture worthy.
Yeah. You can go on our website and see some of the trout that we catch there, and obviously stop by the PCS show and see our show. We got books that you can thumb through and check out our trout fishing.
Yeah.
But you won't be disappointed.
No, you will not be disappointed.
And another species that I was super enthused to catch up there was the grayling.
Oh,
I didn't think I was going to catch any grayling.
And
I caught a grayling on every lure that I presented, and they were so bitching. What a beautiful fish that is.
It's if you're a fly fisherman that likes to use dry flies that float up on top of the water, that's the graylings are your ticket.
Super fun.
Yeah, and they're fun, and you can catch 100 of them in a day.
I am an avid fly fisherman, but one of my favorite things to do at Katmai is fishing the jig for the king salmon, like bouncing the jigs in the holes for the kings, because the hit is so violent, and once you get one of those on, it's like game on, pull hard, because they're 20+ pound fish.
Right.
Yeah.
The jig fishing for the kings is kind of like our San Diego fishing. You're down at the deep water and the deep holes, and you're just popping it up, and boom, all of a sudden one takes off.
Now a deep hole, mind you, is 15 feet.
It's 15 feet. Yeah. 15 feet's a deep hole.
But it's pretty fun.
That was something I found remarkable about the difference. I'd only ever, before going to your lodge, I'd only ever caught salmon in the saltwater, and I wasn't particularly impressed by the strength of them. Right. And then when I went to your lodge and was fishing your river, the violence at which the kings and the chums bit, but especially the kings, bit everything. If you're fishing a little spinner on straight braid, they want to rip the rod out of your hand and then go on a wicked run. And the chums would not give up. It was like catching a yellowtail on a.
Well, once they enter the freshwater systems, their hormones start to change. So they're more like a 18-year-old or 20-year-old. They're going up to spawn.
Okay.
That's it. They're going up there. This is their last hurrah.
They spawn and die.
They spawn and die. And everyone's going to die. Every fish that goes by. So those 4 or 5 million fish that go by, everyone is dead, by the end of the season. So and that's something to see itself.
Yeah.
Is part of nature is like, oh man, look at all the beaches just littered with dead fish.
Look at that 40-pound king laying there, right?
Yeah. And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And they turn into, like we call them, zombies. They kind of like swim, and they're all spawned out, and they're in their dying stage.
Yeah.
But they're everywhere. But the fish all feed the rest of the fish, the graylings, the trout. That's what they're coming down to eat.
Right.
The bears, the eagles. That's what makes Alaska. It's the food chain.
I mean, you hear us describing it. There's so much about it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that fishing is just the cusp of it, right?
And I'm so jealous. You get to see the cyclical nature of nature. You get to see it unfold in front of your eyes. When I was there, just the course of the trip, you got to see different migrations of fish and different, and throughout your entire season, you get a little piece of everything that the river could provide.
The salmon feeds Alaska. That's what everything's there. If it wasn't for the salmon, there would be very little wildlife there, because there's so much that goes up there. All the trees and the bushes and the grandkids and everything are all eating off the grandparents.
Yeah. And I might say too, don't worry about the bears, because they have plenty to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are I'm not going someplace where I can get eaten by a brown bear, right?
Yeah.
They could care less.
They can
about
care
you.
less about
Yeah.
us.
I mean, you respect them, you respect your distances,
Right.
but they are so
More people get killed
into
by
the
a
same-
moose taking pictures
Yes.
of a moose than a bears in Alaska.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Charmel sent a text here. And she says, sorry I missed you guys. Not everyone's going to going through their questions today, but she says she wants everybody to know that can't get through or that has another question about Katmai, that she's available anytime at 800-330-0326. That's 800-330-0326. And of course, she'll be there at PCS with you,
Absolutely,
answering
yeah.
questions and stuff
Right.
like that. So, hi, Charmel. Nice to see you. All right. Hey, let's find out what's biting out there. Yosef Husseini, the Anglers Realtor, is ready to give us the info. And Brandon? And it's sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing on your long-range trip. I know a lot of our listeners do that. Hey, they have more team members. Fisherman's Processing is so far ahead of everybody else, it's crazy. More same-day capacity, the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or check out fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. Good morning, Joseph.
What's happening, guys? How are we doing today?
Doing great. Kind of a challenging week to give a fish report because there was a little weather we had to deal with, right?
That is very true. Well, as all of you know, I'm sure the water's rolled pretty hard, but that's not always a horrible thing because it's bringing nutrients in and feeding these fish and feeding the bait fish that our big game fish are eating. But there's still some action out there in between these rough spots of weather. Up in the Santa Monica Bay area, the bass fishing slowed down quite a bit. There's still some boats running twilights that are getting them on the artificial reef. Long Beach down to Palo Verde, cold water. There's a lot of navigational hazards. So everybody out there with these fires we had and runoff coming down the rivers, we're going to have a lot more stuff in the water. Be very careful while you're out there. In that area, the Long Beach area, they've still been catching some halibut, though, even in between this kind of bad weather. Same stuff, halibut coming on the squid, either pieces on a jig head or live stuff that you're catching. Up at Catalina, it is brown and dirty. There have been some halibut still caught on the backside in 15 to 50 feet of water. The spots with the classic milky green color water producing best right up on the edges. Best scores you're going to find are always going to be off of structure on the hard bottom. Find the bait, find the structure, you'll find the halibut. South of there, La Jolla's been pretty darn quiet. Nobody at the island's really giving us reports either. Ensenada, there's still some reports of yellowtail off of the Bonda Bank. And that's all I got for you today, guys.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good with what the weather's thing. And of course, fishdope.com. You get all your information from Danny and the boys over there. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. $30 off using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. And Joseph, how do we find you for the best in real estate?
You can get me on my cell phone at 619-277-2169. You can get me on social media at Cal Realty. You can also get me on my website at sportsmansrealty.com. If you'd like a free home evaluation, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we will kick you out an evaluation and promise not to stalk you after.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and it's true. That really is the truth too. And I also want to mention too that thanks to Joseph and his help, he assisted me because he used to be in this business, getting a brand new Let's Talk Hookup sticker that we're going to be giving away and premiering at the PCS show. So thanks for the help on that, Joseph. And come on by the Let's Talk Hookup booth at the PCS show and grab one of the new Let's Talk Hookup stickers.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right. You too. Very much. Appreciate that.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Terrafin Sea Surface Temperature Charts. Focus your fishing on the most productive areas by using Terrafin Sea Surface Temperature, chlorophyll, currents, and much, much more. With Terrafin Mobile, you can access your charts on your phone or any mobile device. Check terrafin.com for more information.
And when we come back, we're going to hear more from Bob Kantor, Katmai Lodge, and more about this amazing place. Your phone calls, your texts coming up. Stay tuned. This is Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from a day and a half to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
The PCS show is coming, and we will have our best booth at the show. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Check us out in the wildly popular saltwater building at the PCS show in Costa Mesa, where we will have some amazing deals for you on rods, reels, lures, and clothing. Everything at the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth will be on sale. And as always, our expert staff will help you select that perfect setup for the fish you want to pursue. For saltwater tackle at the PCS show, your best stop is the Fisherman's Landing Tackle booth.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now, you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. Fishdope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Fishdope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. Fishdope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. Fishdope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have Fishdope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new Fishdope.com membership. Check it out today. Fishdope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Whether you're boating, floating, paddling, fishing, or just chilling, remember a good day on the water always starts with everyone wearing life jackets. Save the ones you love. Life jackets save lives. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I want to mention that's pretty important to a lot of us that are business people and want to stay connected is you have Starlink now at the lodge.
Oh, it's a game changer.
It's a game. So you could be fully connected at home.
Yeah.
You can stream movies if you want, whatever.
Yeah, send pictures, make phone calls, via Wi-Fi, phone Wi-Fi on your regular smartphone.
Right. And how much do you charge the people at the lodge?
Nothing for that.
That's
it's part of the business.
Part of the deal.
Part of the expense of getting up there.
Yeah.
And you are offering the best of both worlds. It's could not be a better break from reality and a better break from your normal day-to-day activity, but then also you want to reach out and go back home. You can text, you can phone call, you can watch a video.
You can send an email for your business. You can check on your patients. So everybody's just extremely happy with it. And back in the old days, it would just sit there and spin, and now none of that. It just works perfectly.
Yeah, faster than what you probably have right now.
Absolutely. Well, it's you don't even know it. You think you're at home.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, Brandon, phones are packed up. You want to get through, still time to talk to it. 833-288-0973. Let's jump into it.
All right, let's talk to Chuck from Dana Point. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, you guys. I have never tried fly fishing, but just listening to you guys over and over, I'm like already addicted to it. Can't wait to try it.
It is addicting.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I avoided it for many, many years, and now that I've done it, I as soon as I got home, I was shopping Gene Loomis rods, and I was trying to figure out what weight meant what.
Yeah.
I really, really dug it.
I give you a year, you guys will have a fly fishing section in the store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, all the life up there that you get to see that you don't see, you just watch TV and look at pictures, and then it's in front of you. Man, that just got to be breathtaking. And then the rainbows, what do those taste like? That they're natural rainbows, eating that kind of bait and fish and salmon and stuff. What do those guys taste like?
Well, we don't really eat the rainbows there because you pretty much are not allowed to. They're a catch and release fish, but I've caught rainbows up in Mammoth area, and it's a white fish. It doesn't freeze very well. So when you catch a rainbow, and if you leave the park, you can catch rainbows. So if you go, like on a fly out somewhere, you can have one. But most of us just let them go up there. But eating them, it's great when you can catch one, fry it up in the pan right then and there, eat it fresh. You bring it home, put it in the refrigerator at night or the next day, and it gets mushy.
And in Alaska, at Katmai, the availability of the fresh salmon is like overwhelms everything.
Yeah, why would you come home with trout that you can catch beautiful sockeye salmon and come home with a cooler full of sockeye? You leave the other fish alone. Take a picture. It's a great picture. It's a great fish to catch, but we just catch and release on the trout.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. You have a great text up, Brandon.
I do. I have a bunch of them. The first one I have here says, "Good morning, guys. My question is, are there any opportunities to fish for rainbow trout near the lodge? Thanks." That's from John and Carson.
Well, you can go catch rainbow trout right on the dock. How's that?
Yeah.
And big ones too.
Yeah,
because a lot of them we have our cleaning station right there, and just happens to be they're right there.
They're like pets.
They're basically it's like piranha.
And everywhere you go throughout the river, you may catch any one of the things that are in the river, but rainbow trout seem to be everywhere.
They're all, the rainbows there the whole time. They're a fish that lives in the river system, in the lake system, so they're always there. So when you are catching your salmon and you've caught 50 of them in the morning and you're ready to call it quits, then you break out the fly rod and you use a number 6 weight fly rods. We have those with them for the trout. We use 8s for the salmon, 8s and 9s, but for the trout we want to go with the 6 weight. And they're in the boat. You just tell your guide, okay, let's go trout fishing now, and then spend the rest of the afternoon, practicing your skills.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because there's 2 completely different types of rivers on the Alagnac River. You go downriver toward the ocean, and that's where a lot of the salmon and the chum and some of the sockeye, or you go upriver and then way up to the Braids, which is absolutely stunningly beautiful area, and they call it the Braids because it fingers out, right?
And there's just different channels, and there's 90 miles of river, and if you added all the channels, it'd be hundreds of miles of river. If all so you can have 5 people in the same spot or sideways swath, and you wouldn't even see each other because you're down a different channel that you float through.
And it's did you get a chance to go up into
I
the
didn't,
Braids?
but everybody that I spoke to that had gone up the Braids all told me it was a trip in and of itself.
Yeah,
it was a trip within a trip, and it was spectacular. And is it not one of the only places on Earth that you can go do the mouse thing in the right time of year?
Well, the mousing is my favorite thing to do, but you don't have to use a mouse. You could use a fly, you can use a flesh fly, you can use there's all different baits that you want to do, egg patterns, and it all depends on the time of year you show up. If you show up in say late August, the trout are only going to hit on a mouse or an egg pattern. They're not even going to touch a leech or a flesh fly because that's what they're eating at the time. It's kind of like the hatch. You're waiting for the hatch. You use what the fish want to eat at that time. And that's what the guide's there for, is to know when, okay, we need to switch over to something different because this is what they're feeding on.
Yeah. Some of the most famous trout rivers in the world are right in their backyard.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Moraine, the American, 2 of the
Battle.
renowned, the Battle,
Mm-hmm.
2 of the most, several of the most world renowned. And I remember having fished the Moraine and the American. You have to do a fly out with Bob. Bob takes you up to a remote lake. They land on the lake, and then you wave them goodbye for the day. What? You're leaving us? And then you walk into the river, and you're sight casting for 22 to 30 plus inch rainbows that are sitting behind the sockeye eating their eggs.
Correct.
And bears are all around there eating the sockeye, and it's just one of the most great experiences of my life.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, it's truly. But to be able to do that, you have to go kind of like the second or third week in August up to like the beginning of September.
Well, no, you can do basically our best fly fishing is either very early for trout, that is for trout, or starting at August. In August
Beginning of August,
is beginning of August.
Yeah.
So anytime the first, second week of August is great trout fishing. Excellent trout fishing.
Yeah, great. Hey, I have a great text here. It says, "Hi guys," this is from Sean, and he says, "Hi guys, learning a lot already. Checked out your website. Very impressive. It is a great website. Katmai, KATMAI.com. Very impressive. Can you talk about bag limits and how much you can bring back?"
We bring back 50 pounds. And the reason you're going to catch way, way more than 50 pounds of fish. But since we're a remote lodge, that's all we can put in the airplane and get everybody off the ground is the bottom line. And we make sure that you at least come home with a 50-pound box of fillets. And the bag limits are depending on what species you're catching. You can catch as many as you want and just let them go. But the fishing game, it requires, at the beginning of the season, it's 5 a day for salmon, and then they bump it up after a couple weeks to 10 a day. which is a lot of fish.
It's a lot of fish.
Everybody.
More than you need.
Yeah, more than you need.
More than you need, for sure. Hey, Mike Pritchard from the Tribute's on the line. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Hey, doing great. Hey, so what's going on the Tribute?
We're going to be out Friday night. We've had a little bit of weather to deal with here the last couple of weeks, and it looks nice. A nice change of pace. We still have a handful of spots open, and if it's anything like it was our last few trips down there, really, really, really good lingcod fishing, good red fishing, and they, like we talked about last time, they're not small lingcod; they're good ones.
And this is down Colonet area.
Yeah. Friday afternoon, we leave at 5:00. Last time I checked, there's still 6 spots open. So the week after that, and this is weather pending. Looks like it's going to be really nice for a while, but we're already having enough people to go on that trip as well.
Such a cool trip, and it's world class bottom fishing down there. And then of course you always have the opportunity for a school of yellows to swim through and bend the whole boat over.
Or maybe a bluefin.
Yellows and bluefin. I mean, it's happened on a handful of trips over the last few years where you accidentally catch bluefin on a shrimp fly.
Well, if somebody's going to kick off the season, I believe it's going to be you, Mike. We need you.
Well, yeah, it's this last couple of weeks has definitely been a little something, but it doesn't look like there's a storm in sight down here for a while, and I think aside from a little bit of a swell, it's like 6 foot, but it's no more than like 5 or 6 knots of wind all day. It should be epic.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Are we going to see you at the PCS show?
Maybe.
How's the knee recovery?
It's come a long way. I think I'm way ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. It's I've just got to be make sure I'm not too overeager and jump on a boat too soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds good.
But Derek ran the last trip at really good lingcod fishing. So I'll make an appearance at the PCS show for sure.
All right. Well, if somebody wants to ride the Tribute, grab on that one next weekend. How do we get a hold of you?
Seaforth Landing, 619-224-3383, seaforthlanding.com, tributesportfishing.com. And take a look back at our social media. I mean, the lingcod they're lunkers. And you can keep 5 of them, 5 reds, 5 lingcod, or maybe get a shot at some yellowtail or even a bluefin down there. You never know.
Sweet. Sounds like fun to me. All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that.
And we'll check back with you guys after the weekend.
Let us know how the trip goes next weekend. Appreciate that very much. All right. And you have a good one, huh?
I do. I have a bunch of texts that have flown through. This one comes from Mike in San Juan Capistrano, and it says, "Good morning, guys. I have a PCS show question. I was as curious if Katmai Lodge will have 2025 availability for booking, and are there going to be show specials?"
Oh, absolutely. We have a great show special going, and for 2025, we got a 4 and 7 day trips starting on August 12th, and another one. We have a 4-day trips on July 5th through the 9th. You can see us if you're going to be at PCS, the PCS show. We'll be over there in I don't know exactly what booth number we are at this time, but you can check into that.
Yeah, you'll be there, and Charmel will be there.
Yep, Charmel will be there.
Videos, and you can book.
You can book them right there on the 2025 and talk to us directly and book right at the show.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we have one boat available for our
Let's Talk Hookup trip. That's a phenomenal trip
on the 15th of July.
The 16th through the 20th. Yeah, 16th through the 23rd.
And you're going to go fishing with Rockhod Rick and his lovely wife Dallas.
Yep.
And
the rest of the group, the rest of the
great
group.
people. Yeah, and
it's a lot of fun.
And it's a special Let's Talk Hookup price.
That is correct.
So it's like over a $500 discount that Bob gives us on those. And then in 2026, the same applies. I'm going on 2026. But it's not too early to book your dates.
Yeah, you can book for next year if you're.
I believe it's July 15th on that.
That is correct. 15th to the 22nd.
So 22nd. All right. Hey, let's jump into the phones.
All right. Let's talk to Tom in University City. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, good morning. Great show. Most of my questions got answered. I was really interested in how salmon behave in freshwater versus saltwater, and also the day in the life description. It sounds like a good day.
It's a good day.
It's a great day. It's their last hurrahs. The salmon's going up on their last hurrah. So they meet their ladies and they're going up there, and then they're going to all die.
Right. Yeah, I was just wondering, you mentioned all the different types of salmon, but could you just give a quick overview of what the differences are between the different types of salmon that you catch up there?
Right. Okay. You start out with the king salmon, and they're the biggest ones. They're the ones that everybody heard about. We used to catch 60-pound kings back in the day. That just ain't happening anymore. Either the overfishing or the genetics have shrunk them down. But we're now about the 30 to 40 pounders is what we're catching there, and that is for July fishing only. It basically the fishing game keeps it from late June to August 1st is the season. Then basically you get the king run first, and then you get the sockeye run. The sockeye is the most plentiful. And it's our biggest runs, and they are what you see mostly in all the fancy restaurants. They're the meat eating, the red salmon. It's the salmon, sockeye red salmon. And every salmon has two different names to it. You got the local name, and then you have the American name to it. And then you get the humpies that come in. Those are called the pink salmons, and they come in right after the sockeye, between basically July 10th through the middle of August to the end of August. With those, you get the chum salmon. And then the chum salmon are the bulldogs. Those things pull like no tomorrow. Yeah. They're the toughest ones of all of them. And then at the last of it, that comes in right around the middle of August through September is the silver salmon. The silver salmon are the most aggressive, and they're a little harder to catch, but once you catch one, you know you got it. They're the acrobatics ones. They're the ones that jump, flip, spin, and they're great for top water fishing and to be able to visually see what you're catching.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
that's the five species. All
of-
five species.
And
salmon.
an interesting thing too is the pink salmon. They're in every year, but the abundance is every other year.
Yes,
right?
correct.
How does that work? I mean, how do they figure that out?
How do they know?
It's like every even year, there's a big pink run.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, and you'll catch a few. Like this year, there'll be pinks in there, but we call them the stupid ones. They'll come in with the chums, but then next year the even years. So the even years are for our river. Now other rivers got different times. Sometimes other rivers will have their fish show up on an odd day, on an odd year, I should say.
Well, hey, thanks for the call this morning. Real quick, we only have a little bit left here, but this is an interesting question here. And it's for 15 years, my stepdad and I used to fish the Kenai River, staying in Soldotna. We fished the Soldotna all the way down to Homer. My question for Bob is, at your lodge, when you're catching salmon, how fresh are the fish? The reason I'm asking is when we are fishing in Soldotna and Kenai, primarily for reds or sockeye, but they chased the kings many times. The fish we caught were bright and still had sea lice on them. Are the fish at your lodge the same? And that's from Paul.
That is a great question. And we're only 13 miles from the ocean. So our fish, most of them will have sea lice on them. Bright silvers, bright as bright can be. That's the ones you want to put in your box. If it starts to get any red on there, or striped up like the chums get, you throw that one back and you catch another one in the next 2 minutes. So you're putting so as you're catching it throughout the day, you're being very choosy on which fish you want to put in your box, because you're going to be catching a bunch of them. You're going to be catching 30 of them. No, I don't want that one. It's got a little scar on it, or it's got a net scar. No, I don't want that one. It's a little bit of but the sea lice is what you want. If it has sea lice, it's going to be bright.
Yeah, for sure. And that's true with the kings are bright.
Yes.
And the chums are bright. The pinks are bright.
If you stop by our booth at the PCS show, we can show you the difference and how it all changes.
It's pretty amazing, the metamorphosis of the salmon life.
Now you might not.
You got to experience that.
I got to experience, but only a small sample size. But just how the chum looks, the chum as it goes up the river looks crazier and crazier and crazier. It's a gnarly fish.
And the farther you get inland, the fish change. So because it's obviously they're in the fresh water longer to get up there. So most lodges that are deep into Alaska, you won't catch silvers or bright chum fish that are really bright, or sockeye.
They'll be all red, they'll all be red.
Right. When you go trout fishing up in the Moraine Creek, they're as red as red paint gets when you're up there. But you don't even want to think of eating one of those.
No. Yeah, it's an interesting experience and education
They're
in the life
basically
of a salmon.
they're basically rotting from inside out.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, what a great show. Hey, when we come back, a lot more Let's Talk Hookup. We're going to be giving away that great prize and wrap things up with Bob here, tell you about next week's show. Stay tuned. This is Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hey everyone, James Holst here with Norsk Lithium, the official battery partner of Let's Talk Hookup. Here at Norsk Lithium, we have two goals that drive who we are and what we do. The first is to make the highest quality, longest lasting lithium batteries available with a complete lineup of batteries that include 12, 24, 36 volt and starting batteries. Second, in addition to offering a 10-year warranty on all Norsk Lithium marine batteries, we provide amazing customer service before and after the sale. Check us out online at norsklithium.com. That's NORSK lithium.com, or call us at 831-232-9063. Or to see Norsk Lithium batteries in person, stop by the Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood or Anglers Marine in Anaheim and see why Norsk Lithium batteries should be in your boat.
No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered. Norsk Lithium.
Hey, San Diego, it's the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. 4 days of the biggest savings on an incredible selection. From F-150, Bronco Sport, or the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. It's your time to save during Sell-a-thon. But it all ends February 17th, so visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up. This year, make reliable boating your resolution and back it with exhilarating deals with a new Yamaha outboard during Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection. Looking to hit the water with lower horsepower? There's a deal for you too. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $200 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods and services. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2025, subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24-month Yamaha extended service added to a 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealer for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year, the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss it.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and True Line available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice, and the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live. And we're having a great time talking with Bob from Katmai Lodge.
Yeah, and Bob's getting ready to flip the coin to see who's going to win that 4 tickets to the PCS show along with the trip on the Liberty. Go ahead, Bob.
Here you go, guys.
Texter or caller.
And the lucky winner is a caller, and that the caller is John from San Diego. Congratulations, John.
All right, congratulations, Sean.
Congratulations, John.
We enjoyed see you at the PCS show, and of course we'll see you on the Liberty too. And Bob, such a great show.
It's always a great time, guys, to coming down here and
and
talking to
looking
you.
forward to seeing you and Charmel at the PCS show here coming.
Come
up
visit
in
us,
a few weeks.
everybody.
And if we want to book a trip, especially that trip this year on the Let's Talk Hookup trip to go fishing with Ricky and Dallas there in July. One boat available for either 2 or 3 people. And again, the third person goes for half price if you do take 3. But how do we get a hold of you?
Get a hold of Charmel. You can reach her either at katmai.com or the phone number is 1-800-330-0326.
All right. Very good. Thanks for listening today. Thanks to Jeff for manning all the phones and the boards, and Mike and Caleb from Ray Marine next Saturday. Next Sunday, Bill and Mike from PCS shows. We'll see you next week right back here on the 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, Facebook Live, and at Let's Talk Hookup app.